Hey there. Welcome to the archives. I wanted to do one more on Braiding Sweetgrass for young adults. I just finished it, so I just wanted to share some of my thoughts from some of the second parts. I really love the part where she says, I think somebody told her, one of her elders, told the author, Robin, to consider, like, the land loves you back. I love that. And like what it means for the land to even know that you love it and for it to reciprocate and love you back. Because yeah, the land really loves us. Even though we take such bad care of her, even though we litter and corporations are building all of these industries and AI is taking all of this water and rainforests are being cut down, and even despite all of the atrocities, the bombing, the violence, the pillaging, the developments, despite it all, the land loves you back. I really love that. Another lesson was take only what you need. And there was a section there where she was talking about going to harvest. I think it was harvesting sweetgrass. And, she was saying when she goes and she introduces herself. And I will do that sometimes, but I don't always do that. And I was like, yeah, I need to do more of I'll say hi to the trees and I'll say hi to the water. And she kind of said, I go, memba enye bonnet, to say enye bonnet. And then my balance, and I'll just say, I usually direct it to Nana. I usually always have a conversation. So because I think I'm having a conversation with something maternal, I don't always introduce myself. And I really like the idea of introducing yourself. So I have to be more consistent, Hello, this is my name, this is my traditional names. I'm from these lands. And then here's why I'm coming. I usually come to you in gratitude. I usually always say, I'm coming to you in gratitude. If I want some wisdom, I'll say I'm here seeking some wisdom, some knowledge. I just want to run something by you. What are your thoughts? I ask that you channel the holiest spirits. Tell me what it is that I need to know. What can I see? How do I navigate the situation? And always I will not hear, feel, embody, or see something that is an answer, right? So always, whether it's how the water is moving, whether it's how the sun is glistening. Recently I went to the water to go ask, because I felt like I was too much. I think I did acupuncture and all the needles were falling out, and I was thinking about my wisdom teeth surgery I had once, and I just felt like my being, even without meaning to, my body's always just resisting. It's just always too much, too difficult. So I went to the water to talk it out with her. And that lesson, it was, so I was by the Ottawa River. I went to the locks, and you could see that the area where people board the boats by the locks, because they do, well, now it's summer, the ships are back, the boats are back. You could do boat cruises and stuff. The place where you line up to board the boats, it was completely flooded. And that was like her answer, right? This is what you look like sometimes. Sometimes you will be too much and you will overflow. And it will incapacitate people. They won't be able to live life as normal. They cannot board if the ship was to come, right? You do that sometimes. But also that's not you. Also this is humans not keeping up with the times. How much more does it need to flood before you figure out that maybe you need to raise the elevation? Maybe you need to figure out a different way, right? It's also like stubbornness. This overflow, it was because of you. Humans caused this. Now all the snow melts and everything floods, and it's because of you, right? So this is what I'm saying. Whenever I go to the water, there's just so much wisdom. And to me, it's the same thing as reading the Bible. The same voice I hear when I'm reading the Bible, the same voice I hear when I'm saying the rosary, the same feeling and intuition I have when I'm doing my Thank You Jesus beads, that's the same voice I hear out in nature. That's the same voice I hear when I'm sitting by the water. And yeah, take only what you need. I'm extractive. I realized, it made me realize, it brought on a lot of shame, because I recognized I'm still very extractive, right? I'm very greedy. I talk, as much as I talk about other people being greedy, the book really got me to sit with my own greed, right? I'm very gluttonous. Glutton for punishment, glutton for food, just scarcity. Like, even now I need to get rid of stuff, and it's just like I have a really hard time with letting go, and a lot of that comes from a place of lack, which is what we're seeing on a grand scale. When the billionaires are coming from a place of lack, even though they have so much, there's still a void within them, right? All of us have this void where we feel like we're not enough, and we need to hoard and consume and buy and be and perform to be enough. And take only what you need. I read that, I was like, oh, I don't always take only what I need. I take more than I need, or I take for later, right? Because I don't know if I'll have later. And so it really got me thinking about how extractive I am. Even sometimes if I harvest like cedar, for instance, I don't always bring, sometimes I'll bring herb and offer, right? I don't buy alcohol to offer to my ancestors. I don't really pour libation. I'm stingy. Like, you're getting water because this is what I can afford. And it's like, well, okay, well then you're getting housing because this is all I can afford. I'm like, ooh, you know? I don't give them food. I don't offer food. I'm like, I'm very greedy is what I recognize. And then I'm like, oh, so then the ancestors and God are just like, okay, well, we're very greedy, right? Be abundant. So I need to be more abundant. I need to just take only what I need. Selfishness, like I also wanted to step into more of a selfish era as well too, because I feel like I haven't always been the most selfish. And so I'm trying not to hold on to any guilt for choosing me either, right? I'm really trying to not feel bad for doing what it is that I need and putting myself first, especially when I have not always done that and have put other people first. So it got me thinking about the reciprocity, the synchronicity, the symbiotic relationship. The part about the symbiotic relationship with corn made me think about like interdependence, and I'm not always the best at asking. And again, I'm not always the best at not taking, right? So she's talking about how like corn cannot exist without us. Like, we have to sow its seeds, and it needs us in order to grow. So that was a good lesson. Introducing, I already talked about that. The idea of using science to fix things, right? So she talked about the salmon depletion in so many places, and experiments that they need to do to understand what and how, right? The sweetgrass is not growing in abundance like it used to. Science can be used to help fix that, or at the very least to help figure out how do we restore sweetgrass, right? A lot of it, she said, was non-native plants just coming and taking over, right? Doing as immigrants do, taking too much, causing disease. And so that was really was really interesting to see how much as settlers, as immigrants, how much not only our carbon footprint, but how much we've changed the landscape, right? Even in terms of daisies are not native. There was another, I was like, daffodils or something, and I was like, oh, right? You assume that all the plants you see here are native. A lot of them are not native to this land. A lot of them come in as we do, right? And so that got me really thinking about it. I know, for instance, in Palestine, there's pine trees, and pine trees are not native to Palestine, right? And so, and the same, so she's saying how the Europeans will bring their native plants and places that they settle in to make the landscape look like home, right? New world versus old world. That's happened here in Turtle Island, where certain things were brought. There's one specific one that was brought that the settlers, it would follow them everywhere. I think it was a something plantain. So that's another thing, using science to fix the mess that we've kind of caused in nature. And then I'll just share lastly, the idea that counting, she said counting in the Haudenosaunee, where is it? Page 224. So when a language dies, so much more than words are lost. I remember I was recently saying, when I write my stories, so far a lot of my characters are authentic characters, because when you lose a language, I'm telling you, it's heartbreaking. I'm still unsettled, and then now you want me to learn the colonizers' land? Now I have to learn French? Do you know that I just lost my own native language? So like, I really got that resonated. Losing your language, and the pain behind that, I felt that. When a language dies, so much more than words are lost. Language is a dwelling place of ideas that do not exist anywhere else, a prism through which we see the world. Tom says that even words as basic as numbers are imbued with layers of meaning. The numbers we use to count plants in the sweetgrass meadow also recall the creation story. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it properly, but in Inska is one. This word invokes the fall of Sky Woman from the world above, all alone. Inska. I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's okay. E with an accent and colon SKA. She fell toward the earth, but she was not alone, for in her room was a second life, was growing. Tekeni. There were two. Sky Woman gave birth to a daughter, who bore twin sons, and so then there was three. Ahsin. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing the numbers right, but just the notion that like even counting, when the Haudenosaunee count to three in their own language, they affirm their bond to creation. I love that. So there's just a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. The cedar she got into, I love cedar so much. I'm a huge fan of cedar. I don't work with sweetgrass as much as cedar. People of the corn, people of light, utopia, and I imagine place or time where everything and everyone seems perfect. And I like the ending where it talked about windigos. Is that how you say it? Basically, like the destruction. Sorry. Alright, said my sneeze bothered her. Sorry, Mama. I didn't mean to wake you, okay? Anyways, I'm gonna end it here because it's 13 minutes, but yeah. Braiding Sweetgrass for young adults, indigenous wisdom, scientific knowledge, and teachings of plants. So definitely highly recommend. Until next time, in solidarity.